outs over constructive criticism over Perry's show. Well, I got some constructive criticism, and we can be on the outs, Tyler, and I don't give a damn because I'm going to make a promo out of this anyway and share it to your page. I need the scenes on Have and Have-Nots to be like 5% shorter, each one. I want you to watch an episode of The Young and the Restless, because this is supposed to be a soap opera. No one's dialogue on The Young and the Restless is like this. You don't have to talk about the random plant in the corner for 25 minutes on one damn scene.
They talk about random plants. It was a blood stain on the floor for 5 episodes. I can't take it. We need to kick this up. I'm sorry. I love the Have and the Have-Nots, and I continue to watch
listening to
it in its 5th season. But I get so mad when I can go get myself.
Hey, what's up, family? Welcome to the Black Body Man Radio Show with your boy, Brother Mike. I will be your host, and I'm here with my partner in consciousness, as usual, my co-host, the lovely Miss Janice. How you doing today, Miss Janice?
Very good.
Very good?
Yes.
Wonderful. So we got a little rainy day today.
It is.
A little bit of rain?
Mm-hmm. Rain was good.
How was your weekend?
Weekend was good.
It was good? Mm-hmm. All right, cool beans. Well, I am going to send out some advice, but let me clue you in on what we got going on today. Today's show is going to be 14 ways positive people separate themselves from negative energy. Yeah, so this should be a good one. We should all learn something here today.
Yes.
So I'm going to work on sending out some advice so we can get you guys hanging out with us. And you can tell me about your weekend and maybe some current events.
Let's see. My weekend was great.
Great. Okay.
Another working weekend. Oh, I have something to say about that working weekend too.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if it was this diving into like current events too, because I wanted to talk about this. So I don't know if this is exactly how you said it, but I'm gonna try to do the hand clap with it too.
Okay. This is getting exciting.
Rich people do not sleep 8 hours a day.
Okay. Is
that true? Rich people do not sleep 8 hours a day. To say, I guess, like, if you're not rich, maybe you're sleeping too much.
Oh, okay. Now, who was it that said this?
Steve Harvey.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't even validate him.
Because
got to be issues for me.
I have something to say along that, because I don't remember the last time I probably got 8 hours of sleep. So if rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day, then something's going on with me.
Something ain't right.
Because I should be a billionaire by now. If that's true.
Right.
Because the last time I checked, I might get anywhere between 5 to 6.5 hours of sleep.
Okay, so you are technically in the frame of being rich.
I'm supposed to be wealthy right now.
I see. I get what you're saying.
If what Steve is saying is true, then I should be wealthy right now. Because obviously, wealthy people, don't sleep 8 hours a day. Which Chrissy Teigen says she don't.
That's true. Right. Mm-hmm.
She said, you're right, Steve, because she said she sleep 12 hours a day.
Okay. Right on point.
So, and
that's interesting that he said that, though.
I know.
He should have elaborated more.
So, I mean, he probably did, but that's the one I caught the most, because he had the hand clap in it and everything. So I'm just assuming like
came with the hand clap.
With the hand clap, is that supposed to be some truth? I just wanted to get your perspective on it.
Well, I'm not rich, so I don't know if that's true or not, and I don't know what angle he's getting at.
You sleep 8 hours a day?
Like what angle is he coming at that? Is he saying rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day because
they grinding?
They constantly grinding,
right?
Or are they not sleeping 8 hours a day because they stressed out trying to hold on to them riches? I don't know.
No, he's saying, I guess he's pretty much saying because they out there grinding.
I see, yeah. I'm not sure about that.
It's not even time for them to get 8 hours of sleep. And if that's the case, I know plenty of people who don't get 8 hours of sleep. So we should be some wealthy people right now.
We should be rolling in the dough.
Hey, especially black folks, we should be some wealthy people.
True.
You get 8 hours of sleep?
I do.
Okay.
I do. That is the one thing I'm pretty good at. Pretty good at sleeping.
I don't get no 8 hours of sleep. I think even if I get, I don't get 8 hours of sleep. I don't think I can sleep 8 hours. I'm so used to not sleeping 8 hours that I don't know if my body gonna let me sleep.
Well, according to my phone, you know, you have the apps on your phone that track your sleeping.
Yes.
I do about 7.5, 7.5. So, yeah, I guess I can round it up and say I get my 8.
Still not 8.
I just
wanted to know. So, you know, if it's some, you know, wealthy people watching the show today, let me know how much sleep you get, please. Because
see, I'm one of them people where stress actually makes me tired. I sleep better when I'm stressed out. You know, like stress get the power down on me. I'm like, I just need a nap.
I'm going to sleep.
I'm going to sleep. I'll wake up and all this will be better. I need to go to sleep.
I'm one of them people who catch cat naps throughout the day. If I could catch a 15-minute cat nap here, 15-minute there, I'm all in.
Well, they say cat naps are good.
Yeah, I'm a cat napper.
Yeah, they say that's good.
I will catch a cat nap in between scenes. I could be watching a TV show, like, you know, 10 minutes into that 30-minute show. Might be a little nap, yeah.
Okay, nice.
So, the good thing is I don't fall asleep in movies, though. You know, when you're tired, you go to the movies and, you know, you be in there sleep, snoring. I'm not a person who falls asleep in the movies, though. So that's good. Good. I guess I'm not one of them people who want to waste my money. I paid to see this. I'm going to see it.
I probably would fall asleep if the movie ain't keeping me. I'm going to be honest with you.
So, no, I'm one of them people probably who's too busy concerned about.
So what else we got going on?
All right, that was a photo that a school principal took of some first grade teachers posing with the news, laughing and pointing at it. So this was at Summer Wind Elementary School in Palmdale, California. So,
yeah.
I mean, the Palmdale school superintendent said, you know, he was aware of the photos and he was planning to take action. I know right now the teachers are suspended with pay, but...
Remember we discussed that on another show, how every time they get suspended or they have to leave work, it's always with pay.
Yes.
Okay, so for me, that tells me that the people who are behind the punishment are really not that much in disagreement with it.
Right.
Because how are you hurting someone when you're sending them home with pay?
Yes.
And I mean, I think a lot of us would like to get sent home with pay.
And mind you, these are first grade teachers. Like, I mean, these are our kids going right into school, like starting school, pretty much the first year after pre-K, going right. And these are the teachers who are about to start teaching our kids. Like, that's a little alarming to me.
It's not alarming to me. It's not surprising either, but it's more awareness. We need to recognize who we have teaching our children. You get what I'm saying? Because I feel like as black people, and I'm not going to say I'm knocking this, but as black people, we tend to think if we send our children off to a white school, it's a better school. But we're not considering what that child is going to be subjected to. This is full-grown women. And this is the type of psychology they bring it into the classroom and make it known to these black children. See, that's how they indoctrinate you at an early age to believing you're below them and that they're superior to you.
Yes. Well, is this kind of not like a double standard here? Because the same people, you know, when we mention anything about slavery, these are the same people who telling us it was a long time ago, get over it.
Sure.
But then the same people are coming up with slave gangs, they're giving out slave assignments, they're going on slave field trips, and they're doing things like this. So is that not a double standard here?
It is a double standard, and my personal opinion is that we as a people still refuse to recognize evil. We want to look at evil as just isolated incidents instead of looking at this whole picture is evil. So the more we keep ignoring it, the more the Most High God is going to keep putting it in our face. It's your wake-up call.
And then I have a question. So I have a question for you about this then. Is this something that's like on Facebook or anything like that? Because, you know, I'm not on social media.
Yep,
so
I saw the story on
social
Facebook.
media. So are they making, is it quite a fuss about this? Like it would be as if this was R. Kelly and
No.
Ray Rice. Like, do we have a big fuss going on about this?
Not that I've noticed, and because we keep getting bombarded with these things. See, it's psychological warfare. The more they keep bombarding us with this type of information, this type of news, the more it becomes normalized. We become numb to it, So, 10 years ago, we would have saw a young black man or young black woman getting choked out or killed by the police on Facebook, and we would have been appalled. Today we look at it and just say, oh, that's just terrible. Girl, let me hurry up and get up out of here. I'm almost late to work. See, we're becoming numb to it. And that's their goal. That's their goal, to make it just like it was in the slave days. Slaves were numb to hearing about other slaves being killed, raped, murdered, because it was happening so much. And that's what they're in the process of doing.
So we're becoming numb to all cultures but ours. Because,
absolutely.
This was us in a picture. This was 4 black teachers and a black principal who took a picture of something degrading or something offensive to another race.
People would have been in jail. People would have lost their jobs. Again, it goes back to recognizing what evil is.
This isn't even a big deal.
No.
So it's fine.
We're okay with evil. They taught us to believe it's isolated incidents, and that's how we accept it, instead of just recognizing it's a group of people that are against you.
I didn't think it was going to be a big fuss, but I just wanted to ask the question. I just wanted to ask you because these, like I said, the teachers and the principals suspended with pay, which means what? They're probably going to go back to work. They didn't lose any money or sleep over this. So
no, they never do.
It was just, this is not even really a slap on the wrist. If you're suspended with pay, you're on vacation.
With pay.
That's pretty much what happens. If you're home and you're getting paid, that means you're on vacation. You normally get paid when you're not at work, when you're home on vacation. So pretty much this is a couple days vacation for them.
And that's why there's many people in the conscious community that's what they say. When these people get caught up in these situations, they just get sent on vacation.
Right.
You get sent home. So to send someone home with pay is basically you saying to them, I have no problem with what you did, but it's unfortunate that it leaked out and you got caught.
Right.
So I have to suspend you. But don't worry, I'm going to still make sure you get your 8-hour paycheck, credit. So you'll still get your full paycheck. Go on home and finish working on that cabinet you was working on for a little while. We'll let this blow over and then we'll get you back in here, So, we're not recognizing evil. Evil is upon us.
I'm glad we're learning.
I hope we're learning. I hope. Because if you tuning into the Black Bottom Man radio show, you're going to learn something here. You're going to learn. Because Brother Mike don't pull no punches.
All right, moving on to something good.
All right, let's hear something good.
Chicago, Southside Chicago, get its first black-owned urgent care facility.
Nice.
A group of African-American medical professionals joined forces to open up Chicago's only black-owned urgent care facility.
Nice, very nice. We have a black-owned urgent care in Harford County. Yeah, right
I heard
there.
you saying something about
it right there in Edgewood. So shout out to Dr. Bruce. He owns the urgent care in Harford County. So yeah, that's nice. I did see that story as well, and that's what I thought of. Like, okay, nice. This is starting to spread a little bit.
The center also has mental health and wellness services as well. And they're also going to give some of the profit from the facility to an organization called Project Outreach and Prevention, which develops programming for at-risk youth in an effort to keep them off the streets and on the right track. So that's good.
Very nice. Very nice.
Nice.
I just noticed here looking at the screen that we both got blue on today. Yeah, how'd that work out?
I don't know.
And yours is such a lovely blue. It's a feminine blue, and mine is a more masculine blue. This is nice. We didn't plan this, y'all. It just worked out. So yeah, you look nice.
Thank you. So.
All right, moving on.
Well-known street in Los Angeles. So Barack Obama finally, got his street renamed as President Barack Obama Boulevard.
Oh.
The 3.5-mile road named after Obama intersects with the Martin Luther King Boulevard, and it's being considered an advancement in civil rights and human rights issues.
Okay.
I knew you was glad to say that.
Barack, I'm a little worried about you, brother. They start naming streets after you. They about to get get you out of there. But hopefully that ain't the case. They name streets after dead people. I'm just saying.
So
be safe, Barack.
Yeah, Barack. So for the first time in history, 3 of the most prestigious beauty pageants in the United States were dominated by black women in the same year.
Very nice.
Yes.
They get a bell for that.
So black women won the Miss USA title, the Miss Teen USA, and the Miss America title.
For me, and I know I'm biased, there is no contest putting a black woman against any other woman. So they should always win. But you know, I'm a little biased. So finally, someone else is recognizing that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So all in the same year. So black women breaking barriers.
Let the queens be queens. What else you got?
I'm done with current events.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
It's done with current events? Okay, we made it through that.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
These current events be rough. All right, so let's talk about today's show. So we got an email from one of the audience members that wanted to see a show that dealt with how to deal with negative energy. So we got a show for you. So today the show is going to be 14 ways positive people separate themselves from negative energy. So I'm kind of interested in this myself. So this ought to be good. It ought to teach us some good stuff that we can, try to incorporate into our everyday life. Because we all do deal with negative energy.
Yes.
You know, we all come across that. And sometimes it's people that are close to us. Family, friends, co-workers is what I always like to say. You know, so there is ways to try to figure out how to deal with this.
And some folks are good with dealing with the negative energy and some aren't. You know, so for some folks, being around negative energy is, it's not as bad. They can kind of, turn that negative energy around into a positive. But some folks, it's just not quite as.
I think it definitely takes a certain amount of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to be able to take negative energy and turn it around. And so those who do possess that skill, that's a great skill to have because, that's a skill that deals with it bouncing off of you versus you absorbing it, which can be difficult. But I'll read a little here. Negative energy can be found almost everywhere. There are people complaining about their life constantly, practicing bad habits and bringing you down. The emotions they spread influence your thoughts and actions in a bad way, so avoiding these sources of negative energy is obligatory if you want to be more successful. Everyone can be easily affected by negative emotions, and the only exception are people who learned how to deal with it, which is what you just said. So we got 14 ways to help you with that. So, number 1 of the 14 ways that positive people separate themselves from negative energy is they create happiness within. They create happiness within. Happy people don't base their happiness on external stimulations. They realize once the stimulant is gone, their mood will be ruined. Instead, they look for internal sources of positive energy and practice mindfulness. So number 1, they create happiness within. How do we do that though? Like, what would be an example of creating happiness within?
I don't know, but I have kind of like a similar example. This weekend, I kind of went through at work. I kind of had like a big negative event happen, and I mean, it was nothing but, negative energy all around. And I managed to just, continue smiling, being happy through it. Like I had several people tell me like, you're just happy. Like, how are you? And I'm just like, dang, like, because I was happy inside. That must be true. It must help. Because
I think what you said fits it perfectly because it says, happy people don't base their happiness on external stimulations. So the external, meaning outside, stimulations that you was receiving were negative. So they're saying happy people won't base their happiness on that. Instead, they focus on internal sources of positive energy within themselves. So it seems like you was keeping focus of the things that you're happy about in your life versus this external situation that's going on that could have affected you.
Right. Because just think about it too. Like, because when you're not happy and you go into a negative situation, boom, like you covered. Like they got you immediately. Like
yeah, your skin's a little thinner.
Yes.
Yeah, your skin's a little thinner.
You fall right into that negativity with them, and you be.
And it is contagious.
Yes.
It is contagious. Negativity can be contagious. So I definitely like that they're focusing on. Don't let these external stimulations. I think the key word for me is external, because that's helping you to recognize this negative stimulation is not coming from you. It's coming from outside sources.
Yes.
You have to then try to focus on what you know is happy. So maybe, you know, it's at work and it's negative external sources, but you don't let it get to you because you keep thinking about that you just paid off your credit card, or you know what I mean? I'm going on vacation on Tuesday, so I'm not going to worry about this. I'm going to let these people, you know, have this energy. So yeah, I think that's a good one. That was a good example. So you actually exercised that. It's pretty good.
Especially when there's like a whole room full of negativity, and you have to be like this positive force inside this whole negative area.
Right.
That could be difficult to pull
That's
off.
very challenging.
So.
And everybody's not built for that.
No.
You know what I mean? Like
That's
you
tough.
You can collapse under that.
It's really tough. I mean, it was, and for me personally, like it was hours and hours and hours of it. Like in the last hour, I found myself like it was so much. Like I felt myself feeling like, wow, like this is so.
You can feel that energy trying to penetrate
Yes.
you, that negative energy trying to get inside of you.
And this was like hours of being in it, just hours and hours of being in it. Like
Right.
finally, like you can feel it.
You can
breaking
feel it
through.
Right. It was still being persistent
Yes.
at trying to get at you. So at some point you get to remove yourself from it.
At some point I was
and
about
that's
to
how
say,
you stay completely
I
protected.
exited.
Right. Okay, so that's a good example. So stay with us. We're going to take our first break, and we'll be back. Black by the Man Radio Show.
Like the one thing you always gotta remember is people gonna try to project their insecurities onto you. But you can't listen to what them niggas saying. You gotta get out here and do your shit regardless. You gonna do what you love for the rest of your life anyway. So why not turn that shit into something? Be a man of everything you say. This shit bigger than me, man. Like yeah, I'm good and all that, but you know what I mean? I ain't shit without y'all. What you up and just go hard. Don't matter. Can you imagine how I really having nothing is? Stomach growling, you ain't got no food in the fridge. Surviving on a jail diet of water and bread. No father figure, that's cause my father dead. Mom bringing different niggas in and out the crib. No money, so you seen it's less than all your friends. But it a joke because your mother was a crackhead. Older sister hoeing off, giving all the homies head. I could wait for your response, but they love to hear me talk, so I'll just wait for the applause. I always knew that I was great, I got them haters so appalled. I'ma make it out.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Delivering these bars while I'm gripping on my balls. Jealous niggas hate to see you succeed, so fuck them all. I'm the master of my destiny, nigga, you not in charge. You either on your grind or
Whoa.
The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
So we agreed with that one.
Yes.
That one was pretty good.
Yes.
Audience members, let us know what you think about number one, which is these type of people, they create happiness from within. So they're not letting their happiness be based on what's happening on the outside around them.
Right.
And again, I do think that's a learned skill, because sometimes you can, you know, go to a situation and there's so much negativity going on, and next thing you know, they draw you into it, and you there, you know, feeling a certain way, so forth and so on.
Right. And the best thing I could say right now is if you haven't learned that skill yet, how to deal with it, like when you see it happening, leave immediately. Just exit yourself from it immediately.
Yeah, if you don't, you're right. That's definitely a good way to handle it. If you don't feel like you have developed that skill to let this stuff bounce off you, then yeah, you might want to pull yourself out of it.
Yes.
All right, number two. They practice positive thinking. Thoughts influence your actions. So if you think negatively, there's no bright future ahead of you. Positive people don't believe in the excuses their minds come up with. Through positive affirmations and finding the good side of any problem, they make sure they are mentally set up for success. So you have to think positive. I think the key word here was practice. They said they practice positive thinking.
Different.
Positive thinking may not be something that comes to you all the time. And that's why it says positive people don't believe in the excuses their minds come up with. So here's an example of the human side of us where your mind can work against you. I know my mind's worked against me on many situations. I will overthink something.
I think a lot of us overthink a lot, especially when we did the show when you went over all the overthinking.
Right.
So
whew, that was painful, wasn't
exactly. But I think the key word you used here was practice. Practice thinking positive, because that is, you do have to practice it.
You do have to practice it.
It's not something you can just, just wake up, go right into, I'm just going to think positive all day. It's something you do have to practice.
Yeah, I think you do have to practice, because I don't think it comes natural for most of us.
Yes.
Because we tend to be surrounded by more negativity than we are positivity.
Yes.
So trying to think positive in the midst of negative situations isn't always easy. That can be a challenge. They mentioned positive affirmations. And remember, we just did a show on affirmations about a couple of weeks ago. So if you guys missed that, go back and check that out. It was about the law of attraction, and we went over the affirmations that you can use to help promote positive thinking. So they practice positive thinking.
And I have to say the biggest word is practice positive thinking, because the external, that external negative is so much. It's just so much of it, and it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Surrounding you everywhere you go. Like these days, you can't even when you trying to relax your mind and say like, I'm gonna go shopping. Like even when you go shopping, the customer service that you're getting is negative. True.
Great example.
Great example. You while you're shopping is negative. So the external is it's so overwhelming.
Customer service can be negative. People behind you, in line or in front of you,
the whole external
can be negative.
Yes.
Especially if there's a situation going on. Like service is being slowed up because of whatever reason. Somebody's got to return, and they didn't have to. People in the line start getting irritating, and they actually will try to put that negative energy on you. Yes. Like I've been in line plenty of times, where something's going on, we're having to wait a little longer than we normally do, and then the person beside you is just like, "Can you believe this BS?" Right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so tired of this every time I come in here, and then the next thing you know, you'll recite an incident.
Yes, you're responding.
Right. You're like, "Oh, I know what you mean. This is the third time I've been here," and you don't even realize that negative energy is now affecting you. You're participating in it, so forth and so on. So that can happen so easily. So practice is the key to that. Yes. So they practice positive thinking. So this is another route to avoiding negative energy. Yes. Practicing positive thinking. One of the things that I liked about this particular research is that it's not specifically saying this is how you avoid negative people, okay? Because it could say that. It's just saying negative energy, period. That way, nobody's feeling like it's pointing at anyone, right? I
was going to say, because they can't give you a script on how to avoid negative people. because that means you're going to have to stay inside your doors all day, every day.
Is it a lot of negativity out here? Do we think it's a lot of negativity out here?
Do we think it's possible to get through a day without running into it?
that might be tough.
Unless you stayed home all day.
Right. It might be tough.
Yes.
What about when people call you up with negative energy?
So you can't even stay home. You just proved staying home is not even safe.
You ever have that happen? They call you up, get you involved in something. Like, hold up, what's going on here?
So that's why again I have to go back to your word with that practice positive thoughts. Practice it until you live in it in your daily routine.
Yeah, practicing it is definitely going to be the key. And I'm trying to think, it's like a number associated with like programming yourself with something. I want to say it's like 26 or 28. Like if you do something 26 times or 28 times, something like that, then it will start to stick within your mind. You ever heard that before?
Yes, and you know what? That could be very true.
It's some type of statistic that's attached to it.
And that's why when they tell you, when you could put those little footnotes up everywhere.
The affirmations?
Yes,
right.
With all type of positive messages on it, and you're reading it throughout the day, all day, every day.
Right.
Oh, that's
the
awesome.
Positive affirmations. I am a leader.
Yes.
I am successful.
Yes.
I am abundance.
Yes.
I am rich. You gotta keep telling yourself that every day, right?
And that's your practice.
Yeah, it
that's
is.
Your practice
it is.
every single day.
I actually have them posted up inside my home.
Yes.
You know, just as I walk through the hallway, I got affirmations posted up. And it's just so I can just keep banging it into my mind.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because it's not easy to think that way.
Yeah.
You know, like you trying to feed yourself an affirmation, I am abundance, I am rich, and BGE calling. You looking at your phone like, BGE, like, well, if you rich, you need to holler at us. So, it can be a little challenge. But yeah, I put them up on the walls and stuff. And I got that from one of the shows that we did, you know what I mean? Got it from one of the shows.
Are you finding it to be helpful?
I am. Okay. I am, especially when I relax in the evening and sit down. I have a couple of them right near the TV, where the TV's near the wall, on the wall or whatever. I got a couple of them right there. So that way, when I look at television, I have no choice but to see these affirmations that are on the side of it. And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I'll stare at the TV for an hour and don't even see them. Hey, commercial break, I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that right there. But it's just my way of trying to keep my mind going in a certain direction.
Well, I'm not gonna, it's definitely helpful. I love seeing it every day. I love listening to affirmations. I love reciting certain things every day. It's definitely helpful.
It is helpful.
Another thing is helpful is with that external negativity, if you are in the midst of the same external negativity every day, then you might want to distance yourself a little bit from that while you practicing being positive.
Right.
What you're thinking.
Do something different. You got to do something different, right? So if we want something different in our lives, we have to be doing something different.
Meaning, what I was trying to say nicely is, you can't keep talking to those same negative voices every single day.
That is very, very true. And a lot of us do struggle with separating ourselves. Again, especially if it turns out to be family, friends, or co-workers. It's a little challenge to say, I got to stop talking to so-and-so so much, because it's a bad influence on me. But, what I say to people who face that challenge is, you have to understand that you cannot achieve different results in your life, whatever it is you're trying to do, by being around the same people that you've been around with the results you wasn't happy with. You're going to have to add some new people into your circle. You're going to have to add a new thought process into your mind.
Right.
That's if you want different results. You get what I mean? Trying to get different results with the same routine, same people, it's probably not going to work.
I definitely understand what you're saying. Because even with you just saying that, what I found out, if you do listen to the same negative voices every day, personal experience, that happened to me. And eventually I started having to vent about it, to somebody else. And as I was venting, I'm like, why do I have to vent about this? Which means some kind of way, psychologically, this is bothering me.
Right.
I'm getting a newfound problem here just from somebody's negativity every day. I'm listening to it, hearing it. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
It's bothering me to a point where I'm feeling like I need to talk to somebody about it. This is not even my issue. This is from somebody giving me their negativity every single day.
Right.
But I'm the one feeling like now I need to speak to somebody about it. So you have to be careful. You have to be very careful with these, with the negative energy people
They're going to send you into therapy.
Yes.
So shout out to everybody that's joining us today. Miss D. Brown, Charles Stansbury, my homeboy, and of course, Miss Samantha Glam by Sam. I'm going to read a comment by her. She says 21 days to form a new habit. Bingo. Thank you, Miss Glam by Sam. See, I knew it was a number that's attached to it. So 21 days. So you need 21 days of positive affirmations for it to really start sinking in that this is who you're going to be, this is who you're going to become. Now, I want to sidebar this a little bit, right? Okay. When you do this, there's going to be some people that's not going to be happy about it. You know, my experience is you experience a lot of people that don't want to accept the new you. Right. You know what I mean? And whenever you make that change, whether you do that change in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, there's going to be people who are going to still be like, you know, I don't think she's that much different. You know, I remember this, I remember that. And it's so sad because those type of people don't realize that they're stuck in a negative cycle. You get what I mean? But yeah, 21 days. So that's what? 3 weeks of affirmations. Yes. So 3 weeks of affirmations every day, saying to yourself, yes, you're going to start believing it. Now, I think I mentioned this before. I think subconsciously we kind of know this as a community of people, because you've heard throughout your life where black people speak about someone and they'll say, well, be careful, he lies a lot, you know, and he lies so much he believes his own lies, right? So that would make sense. So if this person is consistently lying about a particular situation or an event 21 times, they probably start really believing that it's true. Yes. Getting it miscrewed with the truth. Okay, so we love that one. They practice positive thinking. All right, number 3. They look for reasons to believe in themselves. There are endless reasons to believe in yourself, even if you feel completely helpless and worthless. These negative thoughts are temporary obstacles, and most of the time they are made up. I think that's a pretty big one. Yes. You know, a lot of us are not confident in who we are. Now, let me ask you, my experience has been that lack of confidence can get fed by the people who surround you.
My knowledge is that lack of confidence probably started from the people around you. I'm just saying.
He said they just feeding it. They created it.
They brought it in. Because just think about it. Because when you're confident, even when you're confident about something and you go to mention it, by the time you got around that entire circle full of negativity, man, they done took that whole confidence you had away.
And there's definitely times where you can be surrounded by those who what do they call them? Debbie Downers? Something like that?
So you'll go back to rethinking the whole plan you just spent creating, felt good about, excited about. You about to sit there and rethink the whole plan now, because you done took it around that whole external.
They done came at you with other scenarios. So you telling them, yeah, I think I'm going to go back to college. I'm going to just do it full time so I can get it done. And they're like, well, how you going to do that when you got them 3 kids to take care of?
You just said you were struggling the other month.
Right. I don't know if that's going to work. He's like, you know what? Get away from me. So they look for reasons to believe in themselves. So let's talk about some good reasons to believe in yourself. A good reason to believe in yourself is because you're powerful. You know what I mean? You really can achieve whatever it is you want to achieve.
A good reason to believe in yourself too is because, like, a man is as he thinketh. If you think highly of yourself,
right,
then that's what you'll be. That's what you'll become.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
As a community of people, I feel that we're very judgmental of people who think highly of themselves. Like, black people don't take too kind to that. You know what I mean? Like, you're almost not even allowed to be happy about your achievement. Do you get what I'm saying? Yes. Like, we expect everybody to be humble. So, like, if someone was to say to you, you know, like, you know, Janice, that's wonderful, you got your master's degree, you know what I mean? That's good. And you like, yeah, I appreciate it. Like, I worked really hard. You know what I mean? I busted my butt, you know what I mean? Took me 5 years to get that. Well, they don't really appreciate that. They go back and tell somebody else, like, I tried to congratulate her, and she's bragging about how, you know what I mean? Like, you get where I'm coming from?
I do. And that coincides with what I just was trying to tell you when I said that lack of confidence starts from the external.
Right, gotcha.
Because when you are thinking highly of yourself, this is how they turn it around on you. Like you're bragging about yourself.
Right.
All because you're happy.
And that's what I'm saying. So you can see how that would discourage someone from being able to express what they really feel.
Absolutely.
You know, like how did we get like this where someone can bust their butt towards their goals, but then when you're around certain people, you got to try to act like that ain't what you did. You know, I always go back to the video with Snoop when he had that video on Facebook, and he was like, you know, I like to thank me and for all the hard work, and I like to thank me for all the persistent, you know, and like we all chuckled because it was Snoop doing it, but A, he was very serious, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And B, we will allow him to do it because he's a celebrity. But what if a friend did that? What if a coworker did that? We would look at him a certain way. Like, well, you know, you could be a little more humble about it. Like, where was the humility when I busted my butt for 5.5 years? You didn't help out with nothing, and now you judging me, telling me I need to be more humble. That's kind of insulting to some people.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's why we have to start allowing them to have their own issues then.
Right.
If you have a problem with me speaking about what I have achieved, then that's a personal problem.
Right.
Start letting them have their personal problems.
So I'll read a comment here. Miss D. Brown, she says we have to be willing to separate from people that aren't going in the direction you desire to go. Bell, it doesn't mean you don't care about them. It just means you desire a different kind of mindset. Double bell. Exactly.
Yes.
You know? Now, of course, I will play the devil's advocate here, Miss Brown. That is easier said than done. But either way, it has to be done. Either way, you know, you just have to know that certain people are going to feel a certain way about you. You know what I mean? When you start saying, look, I got to focus on me. I've had a going thread throughout many of these shows that deal with energy, so forth and so on, achieving your goals. And that thread is you have to have a little bit of selfishness about yourself in order to achieve what you want to achieve.
Right.
Now, I personally don't think selfish is a good word because I don't think you are being selfish when you work on yourself.
It's not.
I'm just simply using that word because that's what they're going to say you're doing. You get what I'm saying? So I'm trying to put it in the pretense of the way you're going to receive it. But you have to be a little selfish. You got to focus on you. And when you begin to focus on you, again, family, friends, co-workers, some of them have an issue with it. You know what I mean? Some of them have an issue.
Well, what you have to remember, I mean, that's why I'm assuming they say it's lonely at the top. It's going to be a lonely road.
They're going to fall
success.
off.
There's going to be a lot of people dropping off.
They're going to fall off, and that also supports more reason as to why you have to include different people in your circle. I had someone say to me before, and I thought it was interesting. He said, no one doing better than you hates on you. I said, interesting.
Right.
Very interesting. Yeah, I had someone say that to me. It was like, no one who's like trying to do what you're doing or they're doing better than you, they don't hate on you. The hate only comes from the people who ain't doing what you doing, you know what I mean, ain't achieving what you achieving. He's like, so you need to get around some people who, you know, are confident in their life and the things that they've done. And then they don't feel threatened by whatever it is you're trying to do.
Yes.
Whether you just trying to become a supervisor at the job, or whether you went back to school, so I'm gonna get my master's degree, or you tried to open a new business. You got to associate yourself with people who are of that caliber. That's interesting, right?
Very. And
it's very interesting.
And that's why I'm assuming they say if you're the smartest person in your circle, then you need to
need a new circle.
Yeah. Because that shouldn't be.
That shouldn't be, right? That shouldn't be.
Right. You should always have somebody in your circle who have more and doing more, because this is where you're trying to get.
Right.
You know, if you keep watching people who's ahead of you go further and further ahead, like that's all it's going to do is pull you ahead. It's going to pull you ahead.
That leads us right into number 4. Number 4 is they cut off negative people. Shall I read? Your surroundings have a tremendous impact on yourself. If you spend time with positive people, you are more likely to be happy and content. On the other hand, if you are too close to naysayers and complainers, you will have a hard time removing the negativity from your life. All right, so there it is.
And I'm gonna tell you this part too, and this is funny. You don't even realize how negative some people are until you start your positive journey. When you get on that positive journey and you get all this positive thinking and energy around you, you start hearing the negativity at this point for what it really is now. Some folks you didn't even notice was so negative. The one particular person I was speaking of earlier, when I said like they made me feel like I started needing therapy, this person has been around me for 18 years. That's how long I've heard it, but I didn't really hear it for 18 years. I've only heard it for 1 year, and 1 year was enough to drive me insane.
Right? Enough to make you realize this person.
The 17 years I never really heard it.
Right.
But this one particular year, it's been overwhelming.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
It's been overwhelming. And like I said, when you get on this positive thinking and all this positive energy, this is when you're really going to start hearing
so it's kind of a side effect, right? Like you said, you're not even aware of that you're surrounded by negative people until you begin to try to be more positive and watch how they try to keep you in. Say you was in the negative box, and then you began to mature, you know, gain some knowledge, wisdom, understanding, started practicing being more positive, being a better person. Sometimes people will try to trap you in that negative box, you know, like I said, you know, I have people that have issues with me, and they're like, he stole my chocolate milk in 8th grade. And I'm just like, okay, sorry. You know what I mean? But I don't really know what else to tell you. You get what I mean? They stay on certain negative things.
And it's kind of just like, remember how when you gave up a lot of sugar and you wasn't eating sugar like that for a while, but then when you went to taste something sweet, you could taste the sugar in it. It's kind of like that with the negativity. Like,
that's a good analogy.
Really
I like that.
Not, like, you just didn't know how negative it was.
I like that analogy.
Until you gave it up. And then you saw it for what it was.
So if you want to separate yourself from negative energy, you have to cut off negative people.
So that part is very true.
It's very true. And that was supportive of what Miss D. Brown said as well. You know, you got to get around people who's going in the direction, you know, that you want to go. And you do have to develop a thick skin a little bit, because it's going to be people that you love and care about. They're going to feel like you're acting different, you're acting funny, you know. You know what I mean?
I have to say something on that too with the acting different, because a lot of people don't want to let you let go of your old bad habits.
Whatever it was.
It's like they have to remind you. Like,
get a bell on that.
each and every time. Like, it's horrible.
It is.
They do not want you to let it go. When you let it go, they don't let it go. They're the ones that keep it going for you. So that's why a lot of times you have to let them go, because they're not going to let.
That was nice.
They're not letting it go.
That was nice. I like how you tied all that together.
They're keeping it for you.
Right.
So even keeping this person beside you, every moment they get, they are reminding you that this was you. You don't need that. You're trying to move forward now. That's not my life anymore.
Right.
But it's still a reminder. So hey, sometimes that person just gonna have to go.
Yeah, and I think some of that comes from because they start looking at you like you think you're better than them. But here's the reality. It's not that someone is necessarily better than you, but they may have better behavior. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's where they're getting confused. It's not that this person is necessarily better than you. They have better behavior.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They've changed their behavior pattern. You know what I mean? They learned knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. They grew. You know, this thing that we are all in called life.
Yes.
Newsflash to everybody. You're supposed to try to get better at it.
Yeah.
You know
I thought that was the goal.
Like, you're supposed to try to get better at it. Like, You're not supposed to stay the same person. You're supposed to grow from your mistakes, grow from when you have people who point things out to you that are not so pleasant about your personality, so forth and so on. Like, you're supposed to grow. But unfortunately, a lot of us don't.
At least I always thought that was the goal too.
Right.
And then, I hate to keep going back to this, but then
you good.
But then again, like another reason why I lost it.
Train of thought lost. I understand that. That happens to me too. I get it. I lose my train of thought all the time. Matter of fact, what was I talking about?
I was saying, like, another reason why you probably going to have to cut that person off that consistently want to continue to remind you and remind you, because eventually that external, because that's what that external negativity is.
Right.
That's what it is when a person, when people is constantly reminding you, because you have to remember, eventually, like, it's going to get to you.
It is going to get to you.
It's going to get a hold to you, and eventually you might start back doing it or anything.
It can discourage you.
It will.
It can discourage you.
If you keep coming at it, if they keep coming. And
even if it's
you can't leave that dangling. You just can't.
Even if it is not them reminding you of something negative with you, it could just be that they bring negative energy. You know what I mean? Even if they're talking about totally different scenarios that didn't have nothing to do with you.
Right.
You know, like every time you talk with someone or you hang out with them or whatever, it's just a bunch of complaints. This is what I'm not happy with. This person said this, that person said that. She knew I didn't know him. You know, just all of this gossip and slander, which we tend to do a lot of.
Yes.
Even that in itself should cause you to say, I got to fall back from this.
Yes.
I got to fall back a little bit.
And just remember, like, that's just one person. So if you're in a group with several with this going on, then you're in trouble.
You definitely in trouble. You're in trouble.
Speaking of one, so if you have more than one, you can imagine the weight you're carrying for that.
Right.
That's a lot of weight.
And again, I want to emphasize that when you come to these realizations and then you make a move, you're going to have to get thick skin. They're going to feel a certain way about you behaving differently.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They're not going to understand it.
Yes.
Why doesn't she want to go with us no more? You know? Why doesn't she want to do this, do that? You know, why does she see this way? Why does he see that way? You got to be prepared for the backlash, but it's worth it.
It is.
Because the backlash eventually fades off, you know, because you're going to start achieving the things you want to achieve, even if that achievement is just you having a more positive outlook on life.
Yes.
And that can be contagious. Shout out to Miss Marsha Lucas. She says positive energy is contagious when it's genuine. Absolutely. So that's the whole point.
Yes.
You know, you either get with it or get lost. You know, the good news is if you decide not to get with it, there are plenty of negative people that you can hang out with. You got a whole variety of people you can kick it with, you know, but if you want to, you know, learn and evolve, you got to get with it a little bit.
Yeah, and it's great. And it's great when you start evolving. It's great.
It is. It's a beautiful feeling because other people who have evolved will recognize that in you.
Yes.
And they know your plight.
Yes.
You know, they know what you're dealing with. They know what you're going through.
Yeah.
So they're going to be the ones that try to support that, you know, nurture that.
Yes.
You know, and recognize that in you. Whereas, you know, you may be surrounded with other people that just think you're funny acting now.
and all you're really doing is just being positive.
Right. And they don't even understand that thought of them thinking you funny acting is having you like, see? That's why I don't fool with you. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to do better and you turning it into something else.
Yes.
Yeah, no good. I'll read a couple comments here. Miss D. Brown says it's important to surround yourself with positive people. Yes, it is. Miss Lucas says only the enemy brings up your bygones because they don't see where you're headed. True. Very true. They definitely get a little nervous when you start doing right. All right, so we like that one.
Yes.
Okay, so far so good. That was the first four. Quick recap on the first four. They create happiness within. They practice positive thinking. They look for reasons to believe in themselves. They cut off negative people. Number 5 is they train regularly. Physical training is associated with releasing endorphins, which are responsible for a feel-good. Treating your body with the right way pays off and results in reduced stress and boosted happiness. On the other hand, if you ignore your body's need, it will let you experience the negative consequences soon enough. They train regularly. I'll tell you what I found to be interesting about this one.
What you have?
I've read a couple of books. One was The Millionaire Next Door. The other one was The Millionaire Mind. Okay, so both of these books dealt with the author having sit-downs and interviews with rich people.
Yes.
And he's asking them a series of questions and getting their responses. And one of the things that was common amongst all of them, and the author pointed it out in both books, is that all of them said they exercise.
Yes.
You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. So this is when I was first introduced to the equation that health equals wealth.
Yes.
It's difficult to achieve wealth when you have an unhealthy body and an unhealthy mind. So I thought it was real interesting that they put that in here. You know, they train regularly, because up until I read those books, I never associated money, financial gains, financial wisdom, anything financial with working out. You know, exercising, you know, working out.
Yes.
But I can tell from my I can tell you from my personal experience that when I got into working out, you know, years back, it does do something to you mentally. You know, that we know physically. We know physically it's going to start making you better. But it does something to you mentally as well.
Yes.
You know, like your mind starts to get a little healthier, because it's almost no such thing as a person beginning to train and work out and get healthier without also making adjustments in what they eat.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's going to create a healthy mind. So now you got a body that's getting healthier, and you got a mind that's getting healthier.
Yes.
As your mind becomes healthier, it becomes more open to receiving healthy information.
Yes.
See how I'm tying all that together?
Yes.
You know, that's been my personal experience. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, what do we think about this? Physical training.
I definitely agree with the physical trainer.
Releases endorphins.
It's not only is the physical training going to make you feel good, but it's going to make you look good. You know, we all like to look good.
There is that thing.
It's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you look good. And when you're feeling good and you're looking good, you're going to want to do things that are good.
I always say you're going to hate the gym.
So.
But if you go to the gym, you're going to love the mirror. You get what I'm saying? You're going to hate the gym, but when that weekend coming, you decide and you can fit in them pants or you can fit in that dress, you're going to love the mirror.
But you're definitely going to have to do some physical training. Like,
it helps.
You're definitely going to want your mind. It definitely helps for your mind. With your thinking, your brain, it definitely helps.
There is a connection to it. You know, you do have a clearer mind when you work out.
Yes.
Now, we do have an obstacle that we have to conquer about this working out thing. Because today, we still have access to distractions. We put the headphones in, put the music on. So now we're getting into an area where you got to decide what you're going to put in your ear while you're exercising. Put something positive in your ear.
Yes.
Something great to do. One of my little secrets is I will play videos from YouTube with positive affirmations.
Yes, that's good.
So while I'm working out, I got somebody in my ear with all these positive affirmations saying, you know, I am rich, I am abundance, I am positive energy, I am this, I am that. You get what I mean?
You're going to have to put something positive to get through that workout.
Right.
And then even with a lot of people, because some people, you know, they feel like they can't make it to the gym. They're so busy, especially the ones that work 2 jobs and got to come home and cook for the family. I found something easier to do. You can pull up something, exercising workout on your screen, TV screen.
Right.
You can pull it up on YouTube. You can do it right from your living room, your basement. So it's all types of ways of
So
working
basically,
out.
there is no excuse.
No excuse.
Because this is dealing with time management.
Yeah,
and I know there's a lot of people that do work 2 jobs and you got kids, so forth and so on.
20,
but
30 minutes.
when you understand the benefits of getting in a little bit of exercise, from everything from your mental health to your physical health.
Yes.
I mean, this is really life or death on many levels.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Whether it's mental death or physical death. it's something you have to find time for. Because if you can find time to do the things that excite you, then you can find time to, try to exercise a little bit.
Hey, I be in between jobs, but I put that 20-minute workout of Tabata on.
Gets it in, huh?
Get a quick 20 minutes in before you head to the next one. So you can do it.
Audience members, tell us how you feel about physical training being a part of separating yourself from negative energy. Do you think that could help? I think we do. I think...
And I definitely think it could help. And I don't think you can really say it wouldn't help until you try it. So unless you tried it and you say it don't work, that's something totally different.
Right.
So try it first if you haven't, and then let us know.
Okay, fair deal. Try it out, let us know.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Samantha Nicole Dennis says, what do you do when your family are those negative people? Interesting question. What do you do when your family is the negative people? Now, I don't mean to sound harsh, but the answer is this. You got to do the same thing you would do if it wasn't your family. The extreme would be cutting them off. The less extreme would be limiting your dealings with them. Yeah, and when I say limit your dealings, I mean limit what you tell them about what's going on in your life. If you can clearly see that you have family members that are not happy for you when you try to evolve, don't involve them as you evolve. Yeah. Don't tell them. Yeah, don't keep them posted. You know what I mean? Because it is difficult. Now, I don't know if your family situation is where you live with them, or if you don't live with them. But of course, it's a little more intense if you actually live with them. But the same rules apply. I'll take you back to number 4. They cut off negative people. You have to cut them off. Now, if you live with them, you can't really physically completely cut them off, but you can cut them out of your business. Yes. You know what I mean? If you feel that they're not supporting you. So I would recommend limiting what you tell them. You know what I mean? Limiting what you share with them. Yes. Now, I personally believe that when you do that, it will make them start to inquire more. Okay, so if you start limiting what you share with them, right? And because of that, it's bringing you some positive relief, and you're able to start achieving the things you want to achieve. At some point, somebody in that family is going to say something to you and say, well, why don't you ever tell us? You know, like, why do we have to find out from other people? That's your opportunity to lay the law. That's your door to go through where you can now tell them what you feel. Okay. Glad you asked that question. I don't tell you guys because I don't feel like you support me. Right. You tell me a bunch of negative things. You give me all the obstacles I'm going to have to face instead of just saying, I support you. If there's any way I can help you, let me know. Yes. So that's how I see it. So yeah, you gotta reduce or limit your dealings with them. Yeah, I like that one. I like not even telling them, because a person don't have anything to be negative about if you don't give them something. Great question, though. Great question, because I'm sure that's a question that other audience members are probably pondering too. What do you do when it's family? Same thing you do with anybody else. Limit or cut them off, and they'll learn. You know, because if you can make a family member realize, listen, I love you. Yeah. You're my whatever, sister, cousin, father, mother, brother, whatever, right? I love you. But I just feel like you don't support me in what I do. Right. You know, so because of that, I don't talk to you about it. Right. You know, and I keep our relationship on a level where I don't discuss, you know, things I'm trying to do, you know? And that may make them realize that they haven't been supportive. So it could actually make them change in the long run. That's true. But that's what I do. I don't get into discussions with family members who I know don't support me. That's you know, I just continue loving them, love them from a distance. But I'm not about to tell you what I got going on so you can, you know, go into the phase of making me feel like I'm not making the right move, this, that, and the third. And way too often we do experience that with family. That's very true. And you have to remember too, when you start your positive thinking or start your positive journey, for the beginning, you probably want to keep quiet about it anyway. I always recommend that. Yeah, until you practice it enough where you live in it, like I said, in your daily routine, every day in life, you know, that's when you probably can, you know, open up a little more. As a community, black people, we're very much against cutting off family, you know, which is understandable because, you know, we're raised that way, you know, but You are a human before you somebody, father, mother, or whatever else. If these people are impeding on your natural human rights, you understand what I mean? And making you feel that you can't achieve certain things, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. You cannot say, well, that's my uncle, so I just, you know what I mean? No. No, he's killing your dreams. He's killing your dreams. That's my cousin. That's my sister. I can't do that to her. Hey, good luck. Good luck, because they're going to drain you.
Yeah, it comes from all avenues, because you have to remember the ones, too, the family, the ones that are trying to say, well, I'm not really giving you negative energy. I'm just trying to help you. Well,
right.
Being negative isn't helping you.
Right. Well, they have chalk it up as criticism. Right. I'm just giving you constructive criticism.
I'm just trying to help you out.
And it's like, but you don't even know nothing about what I'm doing. How are you a critic? I'll read a comment. Miss D. Brown says you can cut negative people off from financial support that interferes with your goals and dreams. Ooh, that's a good one. Financial support. Yeah, you can cut them off. There's a lot of family that depends on other family for financial support. Cut them off, because that's interesting, because the ones that won't be supporting you will be the main ones that be wanting to borrow $100, because they know you doing other things that they don't support. All right, so we was actually on They Train Regularly. We got a sidebar there. But let's go on to number 6. So number 6 says they spend time in nature. Being in nature clears your mind and relaxes your body. Positive people dedicate a part of their day to get outside and admire the beauty of our planet. It's a great way to reload your batteries. When I first read that, I was like, but then it kind of grew on me, because the first thing I thought about was vacation. When people take vacations, they come back and say, I feel refreshed.
Yes.
I feel I'm ready to take it on. And most of the time, vacations deal with you being out and about.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Whether you're in another city or on the beach. Either way, you're kind of out and about. So what you think? Nature?
Definitely. Nature is good. But what I'm thinking is, so far going through this list, it looks as if like they're preparing you to separate yourself anyway from the things you've been doing. You're separating yourself.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm feeling like, with the list. The more and more you say, you have that person doing different things. Like they doing physical training now, they doing a little bit of nature now. So you're kind of separating yourself.
I experienced this a couple years back. I started walking. I decided to do some walking. You get a little older, your knees can't be doing all that running. So I would do some walking, and it was just walking through the area where I was at. Would be by myself. It would be pretty hot out, but during that walk, I felt like I cleared my mind out.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And did appreciate feeling the sun on my skin, getting a little, sweating a little bit. I mean, I was glad to get back in the AC afterwards, but I'm just saying, for the time that I was out there, I could feel it was something therapeutic about this. Because, up to that point, when I think about exercise and I think about more vigorous activities, running on the treadmill, jogging, whatever. But, you see older people. My personal experience, I used to always notice it with older Asian men. They would just be out walking, with their hands behind their back. And I learned to appreciate that. I now get what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a moment of disconnecting from this stressful life and reconnecting with just nature.
With nature.
Right. Just being outside, hearing the sounds, smelling the air, walking, taking your time, thinking.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. So I think nature. I think that's pretty good, and we definitely know it from vacations. Okay, we are up on another break. Stay with us. It's the Black Body Man Radio Show. We will be back.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You want to start off?
I think I'll get it out of the way on a who's not.
Okay, do it.
The Orioles.
Right.
They got swept by the Royals. They lost 4 in a row, and the last 5 games have all been decided by 1 run. The game before, or the last game that they lost before the Royals was the Nationals, and it was Weeders, of course, won with a home run.
Hit the home run.
Right. They were going into that national series. It seemed like they were doing so well, and they just crapped out. They got that game postponed, so who knows when they're going to replay that or play that game. That's my first not for the night.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and weigh in on my who's not, and I'm going to talk about the San Diego Padres.
The Padres. That's okay. You just took my answer.
They're in last place in the NL West. They've lost 8 of their last 10. Their run differential is a negative 65, which is just horrible. So when you have, well, let me just talk about run differential a little bit. It's kind of like the.
White keys only have this bitch jumping.
Okay. If I sit around, hold up. Look. If I sit around, hold up. Yeah. Rub. Let's do it.
If I sit around, I'ma smoke some more. Wasn't even thinking about smoke before, but I'm in my head, I'm in the bed. Don't know who I am, like I'm wearing a mask. Work them old, tell them where the cash. If you wear the cash, tell them where the cash. If you playing for you, gon' run it back. Don't make promises, but I promise that. Don't promise me, cause I ain't into that. Fell in love with that and got hurt from that. Now it's all over and the curtains back. Can't see you not noticing that. I'm letting it go, it ain't holding me back. Yeah, I'm on dice, but ain't come for the crack. Drinking with uncle, we only do jack. How I'm alive, I thank God for that. Praying about it, things getting better. Open it up with my name on the letter. What you crazy about it? Saying whatever, you shy to be you. You know you gotta be you.
Use Tearless Baby Shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bathwater to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/therightseat. That's safercar.gov/therightseat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
Finding best potatoes for French fries.
No!
Russet. Fingerling. Yukon Gold.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
Take a minute and listen to this flashback of the It Is What It Is radio show.
Viral. Make sure y'all share us. So,
please.
Miss Entice.
All right,
Miss
I got
Vicious.
Okay.
Vicious.
Favorite place to have sex outside the bedroom?
Anywhere.
Oh. That's not an answer.
That's not an answer?
Specific. Outside of the bedroom.
You mean where have I?
No, like where's the spot you like having outside of the bedroom?
Keep it real. I'm not a fool fucking
All right, welcome back everybody to the Black Body Man Radio Show. In case you guys missed the intro, today we are going over 14 ways positive people separate themselves from negative energy. So I'll give a quick recap again, and we'll keep moving. So number 1 was they create happiness from within. Number 2 is they practice positive thinking. Number 3 is they look for reasons to believe in themselves. Number 4 was they cut off negative energy. Number 5 was they train regularly. Number 6 was they spend time in nature. So we are on to number 7. Number 7 is they avoid impulsive spending. Nowadays, extra deals and sales fight for your attention, so it is easy to end up lost in the buying mode. Whereas excessive buying may make you feel better instantly, from a long-term perspective, it's an unhealthy habit positive people avoid at all costs. They would rather invest in experiences to discover the world and create something great through memories. All right, let's talk about it. Impulsive spending, which I think we're all guilty of. We're all guilty of this.
At least one time in our lives we have been.
Yes,
So.
at least once.
Yes.
Well, I think black people as a community of people, you know, and don't shoot the messenger, I think we're pretty known for it. You get what I mean? Like, we're pretty known for it. So this definitely fits a lot of us. So this is something they avoid. You know, they know it makes you feel better instantly, but the long-term perspective is it still leads to unhappiness.
And it's still, you're kind of still doing something negative because it's impulsive. So it's still kind of negative. So yeah, you want to cut that off. Or at least limit it. I don't know if you could cut it off, but you can limit it.
Well, you can cut it off. It just may not be so realistic for all of us. You know, I know I'm an impulsive spender, you know what I mean? At least I have been, you know, but I can see what they're getting at. And I can see how it's going to lead to negativity because you're eventually going to be broke. Right? We've all been broke before, but there we are looking at that new TV, you know what I mean, or them new sneakers, dress, clothes, or whatever, and thinking, man, I should have held on to that money.
That's a lot of impulsive spending there.
Yeah, I think we do a fair amount of it as a community of people. But they're saying, you know, positive people avoid this.
Oh, okay.
Positive people avoid this. You know, I don't think they're saying they don't do it at all.
Right.
You know, I don't know how realistic that would be. I mean, all that positivity is increasing your bank account. You got to spend it on something. But yeah, they say they try to avoid this. You know, they try to avoid this because they know it's just a feel good.
How long do that make? I mean, is it a feel good? How long do that make you feel good, even when you do it?
I think it makes you feel good when you make the purchase. I think you feel good when you use the purchase. You know, if it's clothes, it's when you wear it. A watch, a dress, shoes, or whatever. And we're going to do that anyway. Right. I think they're just saying, you know, you got to be aware of this. This is something to avoid.
Cut out the unnecessary.
Right, cut out the unnecessary because this can be a result of you being surrounded by negativity. You want to break out.
Right.
Like, you know what? I'm going to buy something today. I've been around all this negativity. I need to go do something to make me feel good.
That's true.
Because I think it does make all of us feel good when we purchase stuff. I know it makes me feel good.
That's true.
You know, you feel like you are getting something for all your work that you put forward. Whatever that work is, you know, like part of our reward is to treat ourselves to something.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing, but impulsive spending can be bad, you know, because your bank account is going to suffer. So according to this, they're saying they would rather invest in experiences to discover the world and create some great memories.
See, my impulsive spending is bad. See, I don't just go and buy like a piece of clothing or something. For me, it would have to be like a new car or something.
Oh, that's a large purchase.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a really big feel good. I mean, a piece of clothing item or a piece of, that's not.
That's not going to do it?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to need like a new car, a new piece of jewelry or something. New purse. Yeah, new purse.
A new purse?
How about that?
Let me get my video feed back up here.
That.
Yeah, I know women love the new purses. I do know that.
So.
Do women do that impulsively? Because it seems like they kind of be planning them out.
I mean, when you
you know, like they put forth planning to get that.
Yeah, but when you trying to do something to make you feel good, then you buy. Yeah, it's got to be maybe some red bottoms or a purse, or I mean, it's got to be something that's gonna make you feel good. Like pizza, a blouse or something, like you do that all the time.
Right? Okay, so they avoid impulsive spending. So I don't know, I guess the jury's out on that one.
So avoiding impulsive spending, that's something that's very big, because like I said, most of the time, for some impulsive spending is a lot.
Right.
So that's a
I guess it depends on what type of
really
impulsive spending you do, how much of it you do.
Yeah, so that's a really good one. I like that one. Yes.
All right, we'll move on to number 8. So number 8 is they accept failure. Positive people embrace failure as they realize it's the only way to learn and grow. Yeah. Whenever they collapse, they work hard to get at the top again instead of giving up. Even though a failure brings negative emotions, they comprehend these are brief and will fade away quickly. To accelerate the process, they keep thinking positively. So I think this is a big one.
I really like that one. I really like that one. Accept it so you can move on. Like, you can't fully move on until you have accepted it.
True.
So the longer it takes you to accept it, the longer it's going to take you to move on, get past it, go forward.
Very true.
So I love that one.
Yeah, in business they say fail fast. You know, like, don't fail slow, fail fast. That way you can learn from it real quick.
Yes.
And then keep it moving. You know, so they accept failure. You know, they accept that it's temporary. And as long as they keep pushing to move forward, they just simply take that moment of so-called failure, and I'll say so-called failure because I don't agree with it being labeled as failure. It's just setbacks, right? But so-called failure is always lessons in it. So you learned some things that's going to help you not end up that way again.
Right, and that's another part of that problem. When you don't accept the failure, you keep trying to fix it. Just accept it. Take it, accept it, move on.
Right, and accept it as being, it's not the end.
Yeah.
You know, you just failed at that particular moment, that particular thing that you tried to do, you failed at it. But you learned something. You learned what not to do next time so you don't fail. See, yeah, that's the best way to approach it. And keep thinking positive. Like, no one achieves anything by just accepting, I can't do it. You know, I tried, I can't do it. Michael Jordan used to have a commercial. And don't quote me word for word, but during the commercial he said, I made the winning shot, the game winning shot, I want to say he said 30 times.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He said, I made the game winning shot 30 times at the buzzer. He said, I missed it 100. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, so I always thought that was a great example of how to, you know, see things in the proper perspective. You know what I mean? Don't worry about how many times you didn't get it. Keep on doing it, because you're going to start getting it.
That's a good example.
That's a good example, right?
Example.
And I think it was important for someone like him to point that out, because we simply see him for all of his accolades, right? At that particular time, in particular, he was at the peak of his career. It's an old commercial. So yeah, I thought that was really good that he said that to encourage people.
Shoot through it.
Shoot through it.
Keep shooting.
Yeah, keep on shooting.
Yeah.
Keep on shooting your shot.
Keep shooting.
Keep shooting your shot.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to number 9. Number 9, they take full responsibility. Positive people always give themselves the responsibility for what happens in their lives. Whether it's a success or failure, it's always an effect of their actions and thoughts. A positive person will never blame external factors and focus on things within the reach that could be improved. Oh boy, this is a big one.
This all goes with the practice, folks. This all goes with the practice when you're practicing the positive.
Right.
Accepting that accountability, accepting responsibility. It all goes with the practice.
But this is big, because this is a tough pill for a lot of people to swallow.
Huge.
It's huge because people look back on their life and they blame other people for not doing what they felt they should have did, pushed them hard enough, so forth and so on. But at the end of the day, it's nobody's fault. Now, I'll tie the law of attraction into this. The law of attraction states that whatever is going on in your life, good, bad, or ugly, it's 110% your fault. You know, it's 110% your fault. Now, I know a lot of us struggle with that.
Yes.
I've learned to accept that. It is a tough pill to swallow.
I've learned to accept it over practice.
Right.
Just over practice. I mean, it's something you have to. It's something you have to accept if you want to move forward in life. If you want to get to that whatever goal that you set. If you want to get there, you're going to have to accept some, fault, responsibility, or accountability.
So why do we think that people do struggle with accepting responsibility for what happens in their life?
Because you don't want to blame yourself. You don't want to say it didn't happen because of you.
Even though you know.
That goes with with the part. You know why too? Because that also goes with the part of accepting the failure. Like that goes with that too. To blame yourself,
all right.
you have to accept that you failed. So all of that ties into it. So
because I know a lot of people who fit this, like they don't take responsibility for what has happened in their life. I think that it is such a benefit and increase or blessing, as they say, in your life when you can reach this point. When you can reach this point mentally through your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that you are responsible for what happens in your life. It's pretty freeing. You know what I mean? It's pretty freeing. It's pretty freeing.
It is freeing. You're right.
Because you have to look in the mirror, and say, whatever happened, it was my fault. You got people that don't fool with you no more. It's probably your fault.
Right.
I got people that don't fool with me no more. One way or another, it was my fault. Whether I knew what I was doing and caused it at that time, I don't know. You didn't achieve finishing school. It's your fault. Right. You didn't get the manager's position, supervisor position. Somehow it's your fault.
Your fault.
And even though there are outside forces that play their part in making sure that you don't achieve certain things, I guess they're saying it's still your fault because you allowed them to be able to do that to you in one way or another. Rather, it's just because you put yourself in a situation where they made the decision.
And I was going to say, and just because it's your fault, it doesn't mean it has to be your fault at that particular moment. Right. It could be your fault over time.
Right. True.
It's your fault.
True.
It doesn't necessarily have to be that minute.
True.
Like, it's my fault that minute. No, it could be something you done in your past that led to this moment where it's your fault.
Right.
Again.
Yeah. I learned that the hard way when I was a little younger. I had a situation where I had a road rage situation, and it led to some other bad stuff, right? Now, my perspective was this guy started it, this, that, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But I had someone else point out to me, they was like, Mike, I get what you're saying, and you're right. He did start it, you know what I mean? He did do this, he did do that. But what I'm trying to teach you is had